Big news, gamers. I bought 2 miniature pumpkins at the grocery store to improve the seasonal decor of my office. Now, whenever you watch this video, even years in the future, you will know that it takes place in October, which is not correct because it's like September 21st. But if you defined your calendar by holidays instead of by the actual month that it is, we're in Halloween mode right now. It's the equinox. Yeah, I wish I knew what that was. Is the equinox when the moon is at its closest point to the earth? An equinox is equal length day and night. That makes perfect sense now that I think about it. I should have played more Xenogears so I could learn Latin. You know what pisses me off is that halfway through that joke I was like, Xenogears is German, idiot. It's like any other JRPG would have been better than the one that is obviously not Latin. It's like one of those rare examples where like the second closest facsimile is actually the furthest away. Like it's further away than something that isn't related at all. How's Kate? She's pretty cooked, honestly. Our household is kind of like the Vancouver Canucks. You know, you've got Elias Pettersson, you've got Quinn Hughes. I don't know which one I am. They're both very, very important to the fabric of the team. If one of them goes down, I mean, they can still hobble along as best as they can. If both of them go down, it's over. You might as well cancel your season tickets. So I am sleeping on the couch. It wasn't just trying to avoid communicative disease. I gotta tell you, I thought it was gonna be horrible to sleep on the couch. It was kind of sick. I'm really glad our furniture got delivered like 2 or 3 weeks ago. The tweet was not a joke. I really was like, I was pretending that I was on a first-class recliner seat on an airplane, which I've never had before. So I just went, I put my blanket on, I like laid down, I had a headphone in as if there was like white noise, and I was like, and I slept for like 10 hours. It was beautiful. You don't have a spare room? Well, check this out. We do, but my parents arrived in Vancouver yesterday, so they are sleeping in it. Now, next to the spare room, there is a pull-out couch, which I thought that maybe I would sleep on, but then I realized that I don't want our toddler to get communicable disease either. So if she woke up in the night, I was like, I gotta be around to be able to handle the intra-night duty. So I returned from an elegant walk. Hello, Tomo. Hello. Hi. Show him? I'm trying. Like, just give me a sec. Because here's the thing. I'm on my headphone cord, but I can't move because he's so close to my chair that it would run over his paw. So I need him to move slightly away so I can move my chair back. Thank you. So that I can then reach over and bring him up. Hello, Tomo. Hi, buddy. You're so happy today. He's getting big, huh? What are you talking? He's like 9 years old. He's getting big. Are you gonna watch the GameStop stocks movie? 0% chance. And it's not even because I find like the content detestable or annoying or whatever. Is it, be honest with me, is it coming out in theaters or is it one of those ones that's like, on Paramount Plus, day one, you wouldn't believe the crazy story behind the invention of Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips. You thought that partially hydrogenated corn oil snack that you've been eating for years was just something they cooked up in the damn laboratory? No, man, there's a sordid history behind the harvest. Don't even get me started. At the end of the movie, Samuel L. Jackson shows up and he's got a green bag of Sun Chips, and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on with this green bag? And he's like, I think I'll call you French onion. And then it fades to black and you're like, oh shit. Anyway, it has Paul Dano in it, so it's probably going to be good. But I'm not going to see. Without being rude, I just don't see like much these days. I've watched Meet the Parents. I only watch movies that have original soundtracks done by Randy Newman, apparently. When you're a fool in love, seems like the sky is up above. Broken Social Scene is doing the 20-year anniversary of Let the People In, and I'm gonna go see it. Now, listen, I didn't bring this up on Wednesday. It's possible that I might be mistaken, but you mentioned that, sorry, not yesterday, but on Tuesday you mentioned that. You know it's not called Let the People In, right? Unless I'm missing something. It's called You Forgot It in People. Let the People In, I think, is a combination of You Forgot It in People and Let the Right One In, which would be, I mean, a musical spectacular the likes of which we've never seen, but it was a different guy who made the same mistake. That's like a My Son Is Also Named Bort type situation. You could just understand why I would find that difficult to believe. I was proud of myself people think that I don't pay attention to chat. They think I'm like a normal streamer, but I'm like a speed reader. I'm a pretty, you gotta be a speedy reader because there's so much to read. I felt amazing when I saw Cock Sniffer in chat, and then I was like, wait a minute, you changed your name. What happened with that? And he says someone reported me. I was like, I got your shit locked up. By the way, this is crazy to me. First off, the person who said that originally replied and said, good point, my bad. I appreciate that. Secondly, you've changed your name. Your name used to be COXNIFFER, Cock Sniffer. Did Twitch make you change it to remove a letter in order to sound less overtly sexual? Hang on, they've replied. I was reported, Lamau. I had to change my name. That's so funny. That was a crazy snipe. It's not a snipe. It's just in there, man. I saw all the shit you typed in 2015 when you were like, ironically, a Republican, and then some of you have brought it back and gone way in the other direction, and some of you are now like unironically like 24-year-old Republicans. And I'm trying to. The database is constantly refreshing the table. Okay. I got you all profiled right now. You know, at the end of The Dark Knight when Morgan Freeman is like, I'm not going to do, Bruce Wayne, I'm not going to start the Patriot Act for you. Because once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it. And then Bruce Wayne is like, just open it. I'll close it. And Morgan Freeman's like, okay. That's basically what's constantly going on up here. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Oh no, he knows I'm a bicycle urbanist? I got nothing against the bicycle urbanists at all, but I will say I was laughing because there's this group in Vancouver that's called like Vision Zero Vancouver, and their advocacy is like, let's design cities where nobody gets killed by cars. They're anti-car, but in a practical way that is like, let's design safer intersections with greater visibility where people are incentivized to drive slower, etc., etc. And then there was like a reply in they're putting stickers on like dangerous intersections that are like, please be careful, like there's 109 accidents here every year or something like that. There's 60 accidents here every year. A motorist killed a cyclist here 2 years ago, etc., etc. I think it's interesting because when you're walking around, instead of just like, hey, this is the intersection of like Kingsway, Main, and East 7th, you're like, oh, I always thought this place was cursed, but actually, like, there's 400 accidents annually here, so I'm gonna, like, definitely look both ways before I cross the street. Then people were saying, well, one person in the comments was like, it also, and I agree with this, so you could be mad if you want to be mad, but it said it also relies on pedestrians paying close attention so that they're not like, you know, walking during the no walk signal on busy streets and stuff like that, so that they're not getting clipped by bicyclists by walking in the bike lane when they're not paying attention, they're just looking at their phone. And then someone replied and said, I know, it's crazy to me that every once in a while, I'll see someone waiting at a stoplight with their toes over the sidewalk, not paying attention. All it takes is like one distracted driver to drive over your toes, and then you're gonna lose your foot forever. And someone replied and was like, that's because we as pedestrians are done ceding public space to motorists. And I was like, yeah, but it's your toes, dude. It's your toes. Like, I get it from a principled level, but at the same time, I'm like, they're gonna run over your foot, and then they're gonna lose like 2 points on their license, and you're gonna be like feeling that for life. Me personally, I'll just move my toes like 1.5 foot back from the sidewalk. All it takes, I mean, sometimes the curbs are only like 1 inch tall, man. That's not gonna stop like a GMC Suburban with, you know, some soccer mom's looking at her damn cell phone trying to make sure she's getting the right kind of lactose-free cheese string. That's not gonna stop her from running over my foot. How insane is it that Robert De Niro is in The War on Grandpa? Is De Niro the one who has 6 kids with 6 different women? I'm saying this without trying to be funny. I feel like that's Nick Cannon. But I definitely did hear that Robert De Niro... Oh, you piece of junk. They primed me! I did hear that he can't effectively turn down any role offered to him because he has such a punishing alimony settlement. Oh, you motherfucker. You piece of crap. Nick Cannon has a lot more kids, but they're only with 3 women. Alright. I thought they said Poggy Day. The Nick Cannon thing just blows me away, because didn't he have 2 kids with 2 different women that were born in the same week, or even like the same day? Like, that's just audacious, man. Like, if you have 6 kids over the course of 6 years with 3 different women, I'm not saying it like makes sense, but like you can sort of see how it would come to pass. But like you got 2 women pregnant in like the same 1 week period? That's like, well, I don't know. Don't you have a job? Like, don't you have shit to do? It just seems like it's a lot of work, man. Like, even if you take no precautions, you gotta hit the Cliffy B skill check like 2 times in a row. And it's not guaranteed. I mean, like, I understand statistically speaking, he might have just gotten lucky twice, but... Or unlucky, but I have to feel like he sees it as a blessing given his proclivity for it. How was it with your parents yesterday? It was good, honestly. It's nice to have them here. I haven't seen my parents since April, and they're here for like 2 weeks. It's honestly just nice to have like a little another avenue for baby handoff. Like, it's nice for them to see their granddaughter, and it's nice for their granddaughter to see them. It also, like, I mean, this is just parental realism, even if it sounds negative. You have to remember that over time, we've come to realize that every mommy vlogger who says every day is a gift has gone to prison for, like, child abuse. And then I feel like that increasingly vindicates me for saying, you know, sometimes when you have a kid, there's days that are, like, tougher than others, right? Instead of lying to people. It has illuminated for me, I think, how burned out I am a little bit. Because watching my mom play with my daughter at the park, I was like, oh yeah, I remember, like, when I've had a chance to rest and get refreshed and, like, take some self-care and focus on myself a little bit, this is the energy that I have when I'm playing at the playground. It's not like, oh, what is it this time? Oh, the swing? Of course, the swing. All right, it's always the swing with you, isn't it? Oh, and let me guess, next we're gonna do the slide. Having a kid made me move closer to my folks for the same reason. I hear ya. You know, I used to... Well, you know what? It made me realize Ray Romano in Everybody Loves Raymond was a fucking hack, bro. Like Ray Romano is so upset to live across the street from his parents in the show Everybody Loves Raymond. And you know, when I was like 11, I was like, so true. My parents won't let me eat all the potato chips I want to eat. It's so annoying. And now that I'm 34 with a kid, I'm like, holy cow. This guy's he's got beautiful kids, a stable job in like print media that doesn't even exist anymore, a loving, hot wife, and a supportive family. Plus a 7'5" police officer brother, so he's above the law. Like, what is Ray Romano complaining about, man? What was his job? He was a sports writer. And you know he was in it for the love of the game. Seems like most sports writing personalities these days basically just got into it to finance their gambling habit. Ray Romano did it back when that shit was still considered illegal and morally questionable. He probably had a bookie, but I'm saying it's a little different than just being able to boot up your phone. When your daughter hit 2, did she start getting physically violent, like kicking and hitting stuff? Yeah, a little bit. Every once in a while, she'll, you know, I'll be like, it's time for bed. And she'll be like, no. And she'll kind of smack me a little bit. And then I go crazy mode on her. I say, hey! You gotta remember as an adult, the power that you have. Like it's, try to think of the best way to phrase it. Like, your kids should feel safe around you, but when they do something that's completely unacceptable, like hitting you, like she shouldn't hit anybody, but the last person she should be hitting is me or Kate, because we're the, you know, the light of her life. We give you everything. I guess at the end of the day, I would rather you hit me than hit a stranger because we can work it out in like a safe environment. But at the same time, it's like a slap in the face. It's a complete betrayal when I'm like, you would hit your parent after everything we've done for you. But then when they test boundaries that are unacceptable, you know, like when they try to lick the toilet seat or they smack you in the face or something like that, that's where you go, hey! Don't forget about the fact I'm like a silverback gorilla. If I wanted to, at any point, I could rip all the limbs off your torso, okay? It's because of my kindness and my respect for our family that we don't do that. But there's terms and conditions that we have to be beholden to. We don't enact physical violence on one another. We treat each other with respect, okay? And then she's like, damn, fine. But you have to use your dad powers like sparingly. You have to use, in my opinion at least, you have to use it for only truly important stuff. You can't be like, hey, eat your broccoli, because then you lose the efficacy of it when it really counts. By the way, I have to tell you, I was out with my parents yesterday. We were at the playground, 11 a.m. I swear to you, almost everybody that I saw looked identical to the I was out on an elegant walk guy. Every single person. I was wondering why I never see guys like that in real life. Apparently it's because they're doing all their errands at 11 a.m. on a weekday. I don't know how to describe it. It's just curly-haired young men with strong jawlines. I saw what honestly felt like at least 5 or 6 of them. One of these days I'm gonna get you, brother. Also, I felt like I was losing my mind because I was taking my parents out for lunch at this restaurant. Every time I've been at this restaurant, it's been on a Saturday, and there's been like nobody inside of the restaurant. And I've been like, this place is cooked. We went to it on a Wednesday at 1 p.m. Shit was fucking full, bro. I'm more used to the kind of like weekend dynamic where on the weekend people are going out to eat. This restaurant is a weekday restaurant. And the people are like, this guy finally discovers lunch hour. I'm telling you, these were not mid-work professionals, okay? It's a different demographic here. These were not reservations at Doorsy, okay? This was not the tractor at the corner of West Georgia and House Street. I shouldn't have committed! Me when I accidentally pushed to production? You know what I'm saying? I'm realizing, by the way, it's crazy to me how people are coming to the stream and saying, wow, this is really like a From Software ripoff, huh? Yeah, that's why it's good. All of the other From Software ripoffs, the biggest problems that I had with them were the things that they changed. In this one, I'm like, this is the best non-From Software game. And it's because they literally just put the shit in a Xerox machine and said, like, run it back, but slightly worse. Which is really what it is. It's not slightly worse than like, Sekiro is still really good. No, I haven't played the Monster Hunter Niantic game. Again, I can only give you my opinion. I'm not like other gamers that are trying to tell you, like, this is the way it should be forever. By the way, I said... Okay. Sorry. I was about to issue a personal attack against another individual, but in the wake of all the Microsoft leaks, I saw a tweet. I'm so sorry for this librarian. I don't know if you're going to be able to find it, but it was like a tweet from a... I guess what I'm trying to make fun of is like grown adults who are really invested in the console war. Like if you're 12, I get it. But there's actually like people over the age of 18, possibly even over the age of 40, whose name is like Xbox is better than PlayStation. And they all pay for Twitter Blue. And I saw it was like Phil Spencer walking into E3 2027 after they buy Nintendo. And it was like a scene from an Indian movie where everybody's doing like a coordinated dance. And it's got Phil Spencer's head superimposed over the lead actor like a jib jab. And then, like, he's getting flanked by two individuals. One of them is Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. The other one was Joe Biden. And they were all doing the dance. And then they, like, keep walking into, like, a bigger room where there's, like, more people. And they all have, like, games industry heads on them, like, doing the dance. And I'm like, how fucked up does your life have to be to, like, to tweet that, man? It's so, like, you're an adult. Just full stop. You're an adult. Like, you don't have other stuff going on. You're like, the video game console that I bought is gonna beat the video game console that I didn't buy. Phil Spencer texted me the frick back. I just can't imagine, like, being an adult. Well, I guess... Now, like, everyone was like, yeah, so true. But then, like, I'm going to take it to the level where it's sort of, I guess, more real now. I just can't imagine being, like, that into the fandom for anything as an adult. To the extent that you would make, like, a detestable meme like that with no value either culturally or even from, like, a sense of humor standpoint. I saw it as well, like, a tweet that was like, who's the lead actress from... Killers of a Flower Moon. It was like a picture of Emma Stone, and it was like Emma Stone's reaction after finding out that Lily Gladstone is competing in Best Actress instead of Best Supporting Actress. And it was Emma Stone going like she's upset. I was like, I get like you work in the film industry, but like, I just can't imagine. I don't know. I that's just a joke, though. I mean, it is. I mean, it's a joke about something you care about. I'm trying to do this bit in the most good-natured way possible without like falling prey to let people enjoy things. But I am like you're not them. Like if you're Phil Spencer, I get it. Phil Spencer's like me. If he sent a meme in the group chat that was like me walking into E3 2028 after Microsoft buys Nintendo, and he sent that GIF, I would be like, of course, he's him. And if Emma Stone in the group chat was like, my reaction now that I see that Lily Gladstone is running in the Best Actress category instead of Best Supporting Actress, I'd be like, that's you. But like when they don't know you, I'm like, you gotta start taking ultimate frisbee intramurals at the community center. You gotta fill up your life with stuff that's relevant to you as an individual. That's just my 2 cents, though. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I own Microsoft stock. Do I get to post that? No, that's, with all due respect, I know you think that maybe it does mean you get to post it, but it's actually even worse when people are like, their Twitter account is like, I'm an MSFT shareholder, and like all their posts are about like how good Microsoft is. I'm like, you're not even like a person anymore. You're like a shareholder first and like a human being living their one life on planet Earth second. Even the dude who's the CEO of Microsoft, like the first thing in his Twitter bio is probably like husband, comma, father, comma, inventor or something like that. And your ass, the first thing in your Twitter bio is I own Microsoft shares. Like, just look at the Patriots. Surely you gotta understand the difference there. Have you talked about Dan being on that TV show yet? No, because it's not confirmed, right? Dan doesn't tell me anything. I mean that sincerely. Have you ever tried, have you ever tried to ask him a straight question? The dude is a social master. You'll be like, what'd you have for lunch yesterday? And he'll be like, okay, Ryan Gary, first let me ask you this. What do you think that I would have for lunch if I was you? And you're like, I don't fucking know, like a Caesar salad? And he's like, you may be right. You may be right. And then he completely changes the subject, like the next sentence he says. So I have no idea if he's going on it. But he's incepted my ass too, because I Googled. Yep, fair enough. I Googled, was it called Traitors or something like that? I Googled Traitors Season 2 cast and was like, is Dan confirmed for this? It's called The Traitors. It's confirmed now? That's sick. I will be watching. Kylian Mbappe meme image, we will be there no matter what. It's on Peacock. No! Wow. Wait, I get real NBC, dude. I get real NBC. I can't watch it on a real NBC. Yo, my wife and I are eating Subway right now. Guess our orders. Okay, but here's the thing. If I guess your wife's order, nobody in chat can ever call me a misogynist ever again. I'm gonna say I don't have to get it exactly right, but like if I get the order right, then that counts, okay? No deal, fuck you. Because I already know that women love sweet onion chicken teriyaki. Tell me I'm wrong. You know what's great? I bet like 500 people are going to be like, the sushi bit was too far, but he's right about the sweet onion chicken teriyaki stuff. So true, so true. Accurate, but incorrect. Okay, I can live with that. Well, you got yourselves a special lady then, if she didn't get a sweet onion chicken teriyaki. Excuse me, I have no heels? What if we just popped one? Sanest ult of all time. Go in. Go in! Go in! That was a crazy ult, bro! Woo! I didn't read any of the shit they just put on the screen. I was mashing the button like a fiend. Big pipe wrench head, big pipe wrench handle. I love that everything in this game is named psychotically, like J.R.R. Tolkien was hopped up on NyQuil, but then all the weapons are called Big Pipe Wrench, Fireman's Axe, and then like a throwable rock is Sawtooth Wheel. I'm kind of into that. I mean, people aren't ready for this take yet, and I'm gonna get lambasted for it, and that's okay. I genuinely think if we're talking Game of the Year right now, Lies of P might be my current #1. I know it's a little crazy. #2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. #3, I wouldn't know, honestly. Play more games? You understand the irony of saying play more games so that I can have the same Game of the Year as you, right? No, I don't? Well, okay, fair enough. Then I understand why you said it. Yeah, I think it's... I mean, this is why I won't make a Games of the Year list. I think Lies of P is #1 for me right now. Recency bias? No. You can only call something Game of the Year after it's been out for, hey Siri, when did Baldur's Gate 3 come out? You can only call something Game of the Year if it's been out for 48 days, okay? If something's been out for 8 days, that's recency bias. At day 47, that's when you can start to accurately figure out how you feel about things. So you know the Game of the Year is actually Baldur's Gate 3? No, I don't, because I don't concern myself with what the Game of the Year is. My Game of the Year so far is Lies of P. Any variety of game may be better, as long as I've not played it, that's for sure. I'm not worried about the... I mean, again, if I were Macros, I could understand this opinion. Because I worked on Baldur's Gate 3, if I were Macros. But if you're just like a guy, and you're like, I can't believe GameSpot's giving Game of the Year to Tears of the Kingdom instead of Baldur's Gate 3, I'm like, little bro, you're not Baldur. I'm Baldur, and I still don't even care that much. I'm not in my I don't care about anything phase. I'm just in my, like, I don't care about the, you know, like the conversation of, like, how does this affect Baldur's legacy phase. I'm back in the video games are toys phase. Do you think people take games too seriously? Yeah, I mean, it's their life. I guess what I'm trying to tease out from myself, it's hard to say it eloquently. I think that people get into video games, at least I can speak from personal experience as when I was a younger man, not as a younger man now, obviously. I feel like you get into video games when you're younger, because you're like, this is fun. And then naturally, the compulsion is to be like, this is what I'm interested in, so I'm going to learn more about it. So then gaming sort of becomes like a hobby. But then the more you treat it like a hobby, I feel like for some people, you don't really spend more time actually doing the stuff you love. Instead, seems to be a tendency to get invested in like conversations online about like, how could you possibly think game X is better than game Y? You know, how could you think console X is better than console Y? Just stuff that is actually like, wasn't the reason that you got into the scene in the first place. You think sports are similar in that way? Oh, absolutely. But that is like, without being disrespectful, it's like the most gamer response. Is like, oh yeah, maybe I'll quit arguing about video games and just start arguing about sports ball instead. And I'm like, no, you should just, you know. You know what, without trying to, I don't want to be one of those guys who's like, here's the problem with society. Well, I think, like, there's something in the human brain, it's like a compulsion to find other like-minded individuals. So you were like, I enjoy watching hockey. And then you're like, well, if I enjoy watching hockey, I should start reading about hockey to learn about, you know, other stuff and talk about it with other like-minded individuals. And then you find other like-minded individuals, and that's where the problem starts. Because now it gets wrapped up in, you know, your identity is like part of it. So you're like, I own an Xbox. You bought an Xbox because you love Halo. And then like 2 years later, you're spending all your free time arguing online that like Microsoft is going to kick Sony's ass in their quarterly reports coming out next week. And you're like, I think if you know, it's the boiling frog in the hot water. Like if you age 15 were asked if that's what you wanted to do with your time, you'd be like, no, that's like a loser's pursuit. But you know, night by night, you sort of just find yourself getting more, because you make friends with the people on the Xbox forums and you get inside jokes together, and then, you know, you get the idea. I'm sure it applies in like other fields. Like, I don't think it's just games, but I'm closest to games, so I see it most often. I'm sure if you're like really into cars, like, you know, if you work at the car store with a bunch of other guys who are into cars, you make fun of someone who drives like a Toyota Tercel or something like that. Meanwhile, it's a perfectly reliable compact sedan from the 90s, you know? I'm not saying hobbies are toxic. I think it's more like the communities that can surround hobbies are toxic. Like, I bet in the same archetype of, like, annoying gamer, there's, like, annoying golfer, annoying tennis pro. There's definitely annoying board game fans, for sure. Perhaps even more so than video games. Okay, that was bullshit. That was some Dark Souls 2 shit. I attacked the wall. You should be harmed. I think it's one of those things. I always try to get it in myself as well. Like, I remind myself, like, if you enjoy doing a thing, you don't need to take the extra step to be like, I'm gonna go to doingathing.com and, like, read up about it. If you want to and it serves you, that's fine. Oh no, not like this. Not like this. But, like, maybe stop before you become a mod of, like, you know, r/fly fishing, and then you're, that's not fly fishing, you're using a drop lure. 24-hour timeout. Permanent. That's not a grilled cheese, that's a melt. I'm mostly saying that for myself. Note to self, if I start playing pickleball, do not go to r/pickleball. Anytime that you would spend going to r/pickleball, just go read a book or something. It might be nighttime, so you might not be able to play pickleball yourself. But you don't have to go to, you know, check out what I saw at my local court this morning. This is ridiculous. No pickleball player should ever be wearing cleats on the pickleball court. You know, you could just go read a book or, like, look at the sunset or something like that. I mean, why would you wear cleats? Listen, as someone who's never played pickleball, I just tried to think of something quickly. Does the ball look like a pickle? Not any pickle I've ever seen. Certainly not a polski or gorky. I don't know why it's called pickleball, I guess. I am a pickle guy, thank you. Oh no! In fact, I'm so used to being the pickle guy. Like, my wife doesn't enjoy pickles, but she enjoys cheeseburgers. So sometimes she'll order a cheeseburger. It's great for me, because I get to have that spear of pickle that comes with it. Yesterday, I was at dinner with my parents. My dad ordered a burger, and there was a pickle on the side, and I instinctively reached for it. And then I stopped myself, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a grown man. This is my father. He might want his pickle. At the very least, I should ask before I just, you know, reach over and grab it. What'd you have? I had some stew. Thank you for asking. I was feeling autumnal yesterday. To be honest with you, the stew was merely good, which is pretty bad by restaurant standards. If I'm at a restaurant, I want the food to be great. I have had some food at that restaurant before that was pretty good. I will not be ordering the stew again, but that's okay. It was fine. It wasn't like I would send it back, but when I was eating it, I was like, this stew isn't as good as I thought it would be. Stew's easy to make at home. We're not going down this road today. I don't think this is like a North American thing. Why do we as a society believe that we don't deserve to have something nice? You know what I mean? Is anybody here from Europe? If you go out in Europe and you order food at a restaurant and then you come home and you're like, I had a sandwich at a restaurant, do people like shame you? Are they like, you know, you could buy bread, meat, and mayonnaise at the grocery store? It sort of happens here. In North America, that's like a gimme. If you ever like post about anything related to a restaurant, people are on your ass, bro. People will go, they'll say, if you're like, wow, look at what just cost me $200 at the grocery store, they will open the image, zoom in as much as they can, and be like, there's your problem. You bought prepackaged beef jerky. As if like everything else in the picture doesn't even exist. This cost $125 at the grocery store. Well, you know, you could, instead of buying fresh vegetables, you should just get canned chickpeas instead of the fresh ones. They're a little bit cheaper. Like, you can't do anything without someone telling you, here's how you can save literally 0.75% on your overall bill. It's crazy. It's just nice. It's just nice, man. Oftentimes I will go out to a restaurant and I will order something I can cook at home. It's what I want to eat. I'm not at the restaurant like, oh, this guy trained in the fucking fires of... He apprenticed with Jiro Hoagie-san. in Philadelphia to learn. He's had to spend 1 full year just shredding cheese for the cheesesteak before they even let him slice the hoagie bun. You know, you're just like, I went to the hoagie store, I bought a hoagie. I enjoyed it. People are like, 18 bucks for a hoagie that I didn't pay for or eat? That's madness. I would simply get flour myself. Who asked, brother? I was just trying to find some commonality here. We deserve nice things. You deserve a little treat sometimes. You don't have to go out to a restaurant and be like, I have to order something that uniquely I can't make at home. You know, if that's you, that's fine. But it's not everybody, let me tell you that. Why share it? That's the other thing you can't do in North America, is ever try to get attention for anything. You wanted attention for how good your lunch looked, and now that I'm being honest with you, it's my fault. I did see the post from David Brooks that said, this is what $78 gets you at the Newark airport. And A, it's an airport, and B, he had like a glass of scotch. But that's just like, David Brooks is just cooked, no disrespect. So like, I don't think we need to comment on that. Anyway, I don't know. Admittedly, part of it is just like the internet. But I do get annoyed whenever someone's like, especially like groceries are expensive. I think we can acknowledge that groceries, like the prices have come way up. Then whenever anybody's like, look at how much my groceries cost, people are like, well, you bought chips. How do you have the nerve to complain about food prices and you buy yourself a little snack? 2% of your grocery bill is those Lay's salt and vinegar chips. Like, you just relax. You deserve to have a nice treat from time to time. I don't know anyone who acts like this. Yeah, they're all online. It's true. Unfortunately, this is, I mean, I enjoy my job, don't get me wrong, but this is where I ply my trade, so I'm stuck in the ecosystem. I don't know, is there like I guess there's no political party for this. Is there a political movement that's like, we deserve nice things? Like, I know that it's because my wife's sick that I'm bringing it up again. But like, it's crazy that you can't buy, the grocery store is open 24 hours. It has a pharmacy inside of the grocery store, but your ass is not trusted to buy medicine that has DM in it, aka the only medicine for colds that actually works, if there's no pharmacist there, and the pharmacist goes home at like 6 p.m., which is, I promote that work-life balance, but you could use the DM to cook meth. Yeah, but my ass isn't cooking meth. I'm trying to buy medicine. The people they're still making meth, these people are still out on the streets there doing the methamphetamine, so can I at least buy the medicine? Also, it's crazy, and I think I'm unraveling a conspiracy theory here, okay? You can buy NyQuil over the counter. NyQuil is literally an elephant tranquilizer, okay? That's what's in the darts that they use to pacify like animals that go feral at the zoo. People were abusing NyQuil as a sleep aid because it's so effective. They took out all the shit that is bad for you and left the parts of it that sedate you and started selling that shit as ZQuil. Are you telling me they can just do that? Can't they do that with like more drugs then? Can't you take out the part Can't you take out like the negative parts of like Adderall and then release it over the counter and we could all get a little boost throughout the day? I didn't know that GlaxoSmithKline was capable. I thought it was like if you have a drug with a positive effect, you have to have a negative side effect as well. It turns out you can just, in a laboratory, you could just take out all the bad shit and then run it back if there's enough market demand. ZQuil just takes out the acetaminophen. Well, I mean, that's good, because I guess they don't want people, like, blowing out their liver just to get their, 40 winks, but... Can I tell you an Occam's razor conspiracy theory that I have that is going to annoy you? It's not really a conspiracy theory, but just to phrase it this way for encapsulation purposes, my conspiracy theory is that there are no conspiracy theories that are actually real. And where people tend to see situations where there is conspiracy is instead just the result of real life being an incredibly complex system where, you know, when you pull one lever to like raise interest rates to try to tamp down inflation, it has myriad knock-on effects on the housing market and thus the rental market that are difficult, if not near impossible, to see coming years and years down the road. And when you work backwards, when you see an effect and then you do a post hoc rationalization, which is like, you know, hey, housing costs have spiraled out of control. What's the cause of this? It's a lot easier to say it was a cabal of developers and real estate agents conspiring to drive prices up than it is to say, well, you know, it was a bunch of people that in the short term made small decisions that thought they were doing their best to alleviate current problems and ended up causing unforeseeable problems further down the road. Now, how does that relate to the JFK assassination? I don't know, okay? I'm just saying those two might be unrelated. What about the bread price fixing? Well, I guess that's the thing about a conspiracy theory, right? Is like once it becomes the truth, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. So I guess it's kind of like this, like a no true Scotsman type thing. What about the aliens in Mexico? Well, that's not a conspiracy theory. Those are real. I know this is not how you can, this is not a valid form of like rhetoric, but like they look too fake to be fake. Because if they wanted to make them fake to trick people, they would make them look realer than that. So they must be real. It's the only thing that makes sense to me in this messed up world. If they were trying to trick people, they would have done a better job. The fact that they look so obviously fake is proof of the fact that they're obviously real. It's been debunked. I don't buy all that shit about how it's a falcon skull on top of like a badger spine or something like that. That's the deep state, brother. That's Galen Weston trying to get you to buy more loaves of Dempsters. Their hip sockets are impossible. You guys are gonna feel so, you're gonna come back here and you're gonna be like, NL, I'm sorry, you were right. Because one day there's gonna be a realistic looking alien and people are gonna buy it and that shit's gonna be fake as hell. It's going to be like, look at the wear and tear on its bones. This is indicative of an alien that had gravity similar to Earth's gravity that led... And my ass will be like, I knew. If you see a real alien, that's how you know it's not real. And that's why I think that the Kim Jong-un that Aiden Ross streamed with is the real Kim Jong-un. If it looked like the real Kim Jong-un, you would know that it wasn't the real Kim Jong-un because he's got other stuff to do. You know, he's running a country. He's not going to go on an Aiden Ross stream. But if it doesn't look much like Kim Jong-un, that's how you know it's really him because he has plausible deniability. He's not going to get any blowback from the, you know, Senate minority leader as a result of having his priorities twisted. You know what? Just eat some of that. Who do you got in the Giants 49ers game tonight? 49ers easily. So what happened to the real NL? You look too much like him? Not if you look at thumbnails from October 2021, brother. So what you gotta say, librarian, come on, man. Again, I appreciate all the hard work you're doing. We gotta stop using pre-2021 NL pictures for your thumbnails, okay? I'm putting in a lot of work here. I would love a little respect. You kind of have to give respect to the Postal Service, right? I mean, I get that it's two guys. I know I'm going to get Drakes for this. I also respect the Postal Service as a service to begin with. I still think it's insane that basically it's the closest we've come to teleportation technology. If I asked you to Like, imagine the Postal Service didn't exist, okay? But everything else on Earth is still the same. How is your ass gonna get... Well, okay, you would probably email it. But, like, okay, imagine it's 1986 and the Postal Service doesn't exist and you gotta send something from New York to California. What's your ass gonna do? You're taking that fucker on an airplane or driving across the damn country to get it there. I would fax it? Okay, listen. Imagine it's 1951. Either way, it's still amazing that you can go to the post office and be like, I need to send this letter to the Arctic Circle. And they're like, ooh, that's gonna cost you. And you're like, oh, how much? Like $1,000? And they're like, no, it's like 73 cents. It's one stamp with a little flower on it. That's amazing. I'm in. Don't talk to me. Don't have the Gemini talk to me. This is it's so clearly what this is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Pilgrim's
Hang on, I'm gonna go get a Coke Zero.
Now, those of you who joined us in Moonlight Town, we hope your preparations for the Pilgrim's journey are well underway.
Pretty scary. When you nut, but she's still sucking. So true. So true. I came up with that. My Twitter bio. I'm the guy, the first guy who ever said, when you nut, but she keeps sucking. You know what's crazy? It's actually such a funny line. I bet the person who said that had no idea how powerful it was going to be when they said it. Like, that's like inventing a magic spell that makes people laugh. You gotta feel like really powerful, because almost every sentence said is unique, right? Inventing a unique sentence that then becomes mimetic has to feel so fucking good. That's like, I don't even know. You know, the closest thing I could think of is in Chants of Sonar, when you correctly surmise the definition of a word. And you're like, of course! Like a light bulb goes off. You ever Google something and get 0 results? Me trying to look for the Elon Musk tweet where he said newt sake te bag. Searching for it once a week and getting absolutely 0 results on Google. I link it all the time. You found it? It's real? I thought it was honestly, I thought I got baited by misinformation. I thought that someone said, why would he tweet this? And then they made a doctored screenshot that I believed was real. Finding out that it's actually real and I have not lost all of my media literacy is... I'm gonna start believing more shit, honestly. Pray, you who are exhausted and injured. I'm not saying anything about the woman's prayer, okay? Can I say something unrelated about sushi, though? You know what we should do? We should phrase it in the Twitter sense, as if rent is due. Give me your sushi take that will have you like this, and it's the SpongeBob guy tied to the post. I'm not saying the California roll is overrated, because I don't know anybody that really likes it that much, but I think it's heavily overrepresented in sushi combos. I would love it if the California roll was not the default add-on to every single sushi combo. Like, everything you try to order at a sushi restaurant is always like, plus a California roll. And you're like, I would much rather... okay, listen. I would almost rather have any other roll than a California roll. Give me the roll that's just julienne cucumbers. Give me the roll that's just avocado. Give me a roll that's just 6 pieces of salmon or something like that. Give me a roll that's just tamago. Like I'm an active California roll enjoyer, to be honest with you. Does Korea have its own sushi? Yeah, kind of. There's, I would say that, do you know inari in Japanese, which is like the tofu pocket with the rice in it? They do be rocking with the inari, or as they call it in Korea, yubu chobap. You could get a meal that's just like, you know, 4 or 6 pieces of yubu chobap. Kimbap, yeah, it's true. Kimbap is very sushi-esque. They always, when I lived in Korea, they were always like, whenever they tried to explain kimbap, it was the worst explanation. They were always like, it's kind of like a Korean sandwich. Shit is literally like a sushi roll, but with no fish, except sometimes it does have tuna, but it's canned tuna instead of fresh tuna, which, you know, if I was there, it wouldn't have gone down like that. But Korean sashimi is literally called ho. No, it isn't, okay? It's called hue.
I'll use my power.
There's a different pronunciation on that. Did I ever, librarian, I need your expertise on this one. Did I ever tell this story about how when I went into the, I've told this 100 times, I'm now realizing. I went into the Kimbap Cheongguk, which is like a quick service restaurant where you can get kimbap and other stuff, like, you know, they'll cook you a bowl of instant ramen and serve it to you as if it's real ramen. Anyway, I was there for lunch, and I had my other teachers order with me so I could get them some kimbap too. And I said, you know, 저기요, kimbap, kimchi kimbap 한 개 주세요, and 참치 kimbap 한 개 주세요, 포장 주세요, I guess. And then everyone started laughing at me, and I was just like, like even in the whole restaurant, people who were just dining were laughing. And then I went back to the school and I told the story to like the teacher that I got the tuna kimbap for, and the other Korean teachers who were there, and they were like, oh, it's because you said like jamchi. Tuna is chamchi, and jamchi, which sounds almost identical, is like a slang word for pussy. So I walked into the restaurant and was like, can I get a pussy roll, please, to go? Oh, man. How much McDonald's did you eat in Korea? They opened the McDonald's near my school like 4 months after I started working there, and I ate there once a week. It was like the highlight of my week on a regular basis. I always got the same thing. I got the Shanghai Spice. It's a spicy chicken sandwich. I don't know if it's exclusive to Korea, but they do not have it in North America. How is it? I mean, it's exactly how you would expect a McDonald's spicy chicken sandwich to taste. It's pretty good. Pretty damn good. Might not surprise you to find out it's a little salty. I still can't believe how fast they get your food to you at the drive-thru. How is it faster to get your food at the drive-thru than it is when you're in the damn restaurant? Like, it should be harder to give you your food from a window into your car, but it's actually 2 times easier, which makes no fucking sense. But it's amazing. Oh, we're in Blighttown now, boys. Oh, man. Everybody's gonna do that. That's so funny. Oh, man. Wait, someone said you can tell how nice an area is by what the McDonald's gives at the self-serve counter. Like, if they've got one of those pump dispensers for sweet and sour sauce, you know it's good. Can I get some help here? Oh, he crumbled, man. That's bait, right? There's no pump dispenser for sweet and sour. Ketchup? Yeah. Ketchup, sure. But a pump dispenser for sweet and sour? It exists. Dude, this is what I'm saying. North America, it's built into our, like, cultural DNA that we're not allowed to have nice things. Like, even if we as individuals can handle nice things, we're like, yeah, but we can't have nice things, because then, like, other people might take advantage of it. Most of us would use it right, but some people would abuse it. I'm like, we can't have shit, man. I can't have self-serve sweet and sour. Because my grandma's like, some people would take too much sweet and sour and ruin it for everybody. Meanwhile, every time we go out to Swiss Chalet, she's like, can I get some more napkins? And then she's shoving like 90 napkins in her purse so she never has to pay for napkins again. Sauce is so cheap. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to say this because, you know, knowing the way the world works, soon we're going to have to pay for ketchup. It is crazy that if you want like a dipping sauce for your nuggets, extra dipping sauces are like 40 cents each now or something. But they just got unlimited ketchup down at the fucking front and no medium lids. I had a resentable interaction recently. And it wasn't that bad. But again, it just kind of, I guess I would say it highlights how we're in this. It's in keeping with the theme of you can't have shit in North America. I live in Vancouver. My daughter has been learning to use the potty, so sometimes I find myself having to use public bathrooms in locations I would rather not, like a Tim Hortons, for example. So I went inside of a Tim Hortons. I tried to open the bathroom. The bathroom had a lock on it. I said, of course it does. I know where I live. So then I went up to the front and I said, hey, can I get a chocolate chip cookie? Oh, and one more thing, can I get the key for the bathroom? And then the lady looked at me like I was stupid, and she just pointed at the wall, and there was a key on on a little key hanger on the wall to unlock the bathroom. You know where I'm going with this one, is I was like, in my head, I'm like, why is it locked in the first place if the key is just out there? Instead, I gotta go. Maybe it's to sell the cheapest item in the store so people feel like they can't just go up and ask for the bathroom key. They have to be like, I'll take a chocolate cookie. By the way, I've surprised myself. I have to go piss. It's a gatekeeping puzzle for people who are too drunk or too high. You know what? That fits into my worldview. What if someone takes the key? I mean, it's definitely, if you're just gonna leave the door unlocked, or locked but with the key right next to it, it's definitely better to just have it unlocked. But I don't think you should have to buy something at a store to use their restaurant. I think, I would like to think, I can't put myself in the shoes of the small business owner. I would like to think, well, no, okay, here's what I'm gonna say. If you run a Tim Hortons, you should let people piss in your bathroom without having to buy something. If you run like Bill's Greek Restaurant or something like that, you know, that's your domain. Maybe charge them for some pita or something like that, and then you can piss. Yeah, like they already pissed in the coffee. Exactly. I think you should be able to piss in the bathroom. That's at least guy who spent too much time online take. This is just my opinion, and I know not everybody agrees with me, and my own opinions are shaped by my experience in life, but I think people should be able to go piss in the bathroom. Muting replies on this, oh fuck. This has left its intended audience muting replies. What, the scallop? Ready for this? I should have parried it. Dude, that would be sick. Like that game where you can parry the nuke. Did you see that? I worked graveyard at a co-op gas station when I was a teen in Nanaimo. It's actually insane how shitty it was. Speak on that. Speak on that more. I mean, I bet pretty much anywhere in British Columbia, if you worked like the overnight shift at a 24-hour business, I'm sure you got some crazy stories. Because I've seen some wild stuff, you know, in the daytime. I don't know what it... Maybe it's the Pacific Northwest, man. Because there was definitely one PAX. Kate wanted to eat some Korean food. So we walked from like downtown Seattle to wherever Koreatown was. I can't... Or at least wherever this restaurant was. And while we were walking, we were getting like increasingly into like territory that I can only describe as like leaving commercial and entering an area that used to be light industrial, but now is just abandoned. And there was like a Speedy Auto Glass or something like that, some kind of similar business. And I swear to you, outside of it, was just a man receiving a blowjob, like just on, like not even in the alley, just out in the open. And they were both wearing winter coats, and it was like Labor Day weekend. And it's like the number one thing that triggers your brainstem to be like, we got to get the fuck out of here, is when it's like 30 degrees Celsius outside and someone's got a winter coat on. You're like, this is not a good place to be. This is not safe. Guy in the wintertime wearing shorts. I'm like, okay, I get it. Bro really thinks he's John Fetterman. Guy in the summertime wearing a coat, we need to leave immediately. We left a jjimjilbang because a dude was sucking off another dude in there. That's really funny. It's also funny because I don't know if I... Listen, this is a spicy bit, okay? It's funny because when we worked in Korea, or when I worked in Korea, the stereotype... Not even stereotype. The opinion that we saw all the time about like homosexuality was that Koreans would be like, we get it, like that's like a North American and a European phenomenon, but that doesn't happen here. They would be like, there's no gay people in Korea. Anyway, I don't know if that has changed, but it plays into this next story. At some point, when I worked in Korea, a bar opened up downtown that was clearly run by two gay men who were a couple, and I really can't stress enough that they were like the exact image of stereotypical two gay men. They looked like Michael McKean and the other dude, the couple from Best in Show, who go to the hotel and they have like all the kimonos and stuff like that. They even owned like a small dog that was very well coiffed. And the bar was called MF Bar. That's all I'm saying. And we would talk to other Korean people at the bar, and you'd be like, you know these guys are gay, right? And they would be like, that's not something that happens here. And we were like, you are insane. You've lost your mind. And obviously there's nothing wrong with it, but I was like, you're denying reality right now. The relationship that they have with cannabis is very funny. Again, I can only speak to what it was like 10 years ago, or like 12 years ago when I taught there. But they treat cannabis as if it's like, I'm just gonna go to the bonfire. As if it's like fentanyl. But then every once in a while, you'd be like having drinks with the Korean teachers, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I did like my English degree in Canada, and I smoked weed once. And then all the other teachers would be like, oh my, I think it might have permanently like affected their social status within the community. Just that admission. That has not changed. Okay, well, forever shunned at all the school potlucks because I smoked BC Bud once at the University of Victoria. No! I mean, that being said, it's not like North America doesn't have its own delusions. Like, the way he fucking falled, man. The way the camera turned to fall. It's so funny. Oh, man. Oh. Like, we're not allowed to have fucking sweet and sour dispensers, man. Do you see how messed up that is? We can't have sweet and sour dispensers? Meanwhile, in Japan, they have, like, beer vending machines on every corner, and nothing's... They're not being tipped over and having all the glass smashed out and, like, 6 Kirin Ichibans being stolen from them every night. That shit would not fly in Philadelphia, man. No trash cans. Yeah, no trash cans anywhere, but the streets are, like, perfectly clean. I mean, that's one of the things that's not like a we don't deserve to have nice things. I understand not having beer vending machines. I mean, we can't even have vending machines, like, outside in North America, much less with alcohol in them. Also, we can't even have vending machines inside. Like, 98% of them worldwide are broken and will never be repaired. You can't even drink alcohol in public in North America? It's... We gotta raise the system and build it up from the ground up. You should be able to have a beer in public, even if you're just walking on the sidewalk. But you should not be able to build a place that serves alcohol that you can't get to via walking or public transit. You shouldn't be able to have a bar with 30 parking spots in front of it. But you should be able to have up to 2 beers in public on your person without being fined by the police. Holy shit, I'm gonna be the president. These takes are too popular. I thought it was radical. You can actually drink in some parks in Vancouver now, but it's kind of comical, if you'll allow me to stand here for a second. You'll, like, walk into the park, and there'll be, like, a map, like a bird's eye view map of the park. And it'll say, like, we're doing a pilot project on allowing adults to drink alcohol in parks. And then it'll be like, here's, like, the red area. That's where there's children's playground equipment. And then, like, there's a little dotted line around that that's like, do not drink a beer within 200 meters of a slide. And then there's, like, a little sliver, like a green patch that's just grass. And it's like, you can drink a beer on this if you want. And I'm like, I found a syringe in the playground like 2 days ago. I'm not saying you should be slamming tall cans while your kid is on the jungle gym. I'm just like, we're doing... I'm doing my best here. I mean, it's like the laws are not stopping the people who are behaving badly. It's only stopping the people who use it responsibly. There was an anal porn link written on the slide in Sharpie last time I went to the playground. I love the delineation that it wasn't just porn, it was anal porn. Just like a slightly more debaucherous type of pornography, debatably. Wasn't normal porn. It was anal porn. Ah, the staircase. Call me true crime documentaries the way I almost missed the staircase. +2? I don't know if you should +2 that, but it is probably the best true crime documentary I've ever seen. I saw that Netflix came out with a new season of the Murdoch Murders. What is this? That's Murdoch Mysteries. What is it called? You know the one I'm talking about where there was the boat accident in the swamp. It's not called Murdoch Mysteries. You know what I'm talking about. It's Murdaugh. The Murdaugh Murders. Netflix, when a true crime documentary about murder gets so popular that they have to make a season 2. Oh. You ever seen... Sorry, people they're not ready for this joke, but that's okay. Some true crime Andes are a little... I mean, they're invested in this stuff. Let's put it that way. I'll talk to you in just a second. Season 1 of Making a Murderer captured a nation, okay? Everybody said, did he do it? Didn't he do it? I don't know, but one thing I do know is that everybody involved in the justice system in Manitowoc County, Wisconsin should be fired. It came out season 2. Lawyers out here like trying to get lip prints off the back of the dude's bumper. I was like, oh, he did that shit. Season 1, it was like, there might be, like, it seems like maybe he is a frame job. Season 2, the lawyer was like, Your Honor, he had diarrhea during the time the murders were taking place, so he couldn't have possibly committed the murder. I'm like, oh, fuck. He fucking did that shit, man. You would not be using these defenses for an innocent man. I'm not on the jury. I can say whatever I please, okay?
I'm surprised to see who's... Maybe it'll give me the strength to carry on.
I've never been summoned for jury duty.
I can't die. But perhaps...
Something is definitely wrong with my brain, because I think I would love to...
Bring me the whole...
I think I would treat it very seriously. Like, I don't want to get summoned for jury duty, but I think if I were summoned, I would treat it so solemnly. Like, I would follow that shit to the letter of the damn law. But I think as soon as I told them my job, they would be like, there's no shot. Like, what? Okay, Mr. Letourneau, what do you do for work? I absent-mindedly rant for like 5 hours a day live about whatever's currently going on in my life. Like, oh, could you avoid discussing any pertinent deals of the case with 7,000 strangers online? I would be like, I could try. A jury's kind of messed up though, right? I mean, like, I understand the desire to get judged by a tribunal of your peers. But, like, normal people don't know anything about the law. Have you ever heard someone, like, get accused of a crime and then everyone at the coffee shop is like, they're innocent? No, people are bloodthirsty, man. As soon as someone gets accused of a crime, the average person is like, they fucking did that shit. Lock them up and throw away the key. Sometimes they're right, but, like, at the same time, you know, you're supposed to have a... let's not go down there. This is not related to Russell Brand, I promise. I'm just saying, like, if my ass was on trial, I'd be like, give me the judge. That guy's got a boss that he's beholden to, that he has to follow the letter of the law, and, like, I might be fucked, but at least, like, he knows what he's doing. If I get in front of a jury, I don't know, they might just be like, I implicitly dislike him because he has no hair. And then the judge will be like, does anybody on the jury have a problem with the defendant? And they'll be like, no. No, thank you. It is wild that judges are elected in America. Like, that's crazy. Because then it's like the jury's picking the damn judge, which is just... It doesn't solve the problem, in my opinion. Yeah, I know. Maybe not in all jurisdictions, but definitely in parts of the U.S., you elect judges, which is... seems crazy. Like, I feel like sometimes you might want, like, an unpopular judge. Because, again, part of my bias, or at least my inclination, is to assume that the average person believes that being charged with a crime essentially means there's, like, a 99% chance you did that shit. I don't know the actual stats, that may or may not be true. But aren't judges with, like, high conviction rates the most popular and thus the most likely to be elected? Like, I don't think maybe it's just my bias. I feel like it'd be tough to be elected as a judge if you're like, I'm going to be very understanding of the accused and I'm going to be soft on crime. And my promise to the people of Manitowoc County is, if elected, I'm going to be soft on crime. Why would you phrase it that way instead of saying I'll be fair? I don't know. This is funnier. Rare ergo. He collects rare ergo. 7-coiled spring sword. That looks pretty cool. A dagger. With A. It's tail scales of technique with A. Dude, I gotta buy this. Extreme modification. Enables dodging even with low stamina. Perfect guard increases damage done with your weapon. I'm buying Farnsworth's cane first. I mean, that's a given. Holy dude. The Kingsman. Oh! Society's cooked, bro. Friendly? When you pass the vibe check. Good evening, ass boss. So true. This boss definitely looks like the kind of person who, when you shook their hand, would say, well met. This boss definitely looks like the kind of guy who would tell you after you shook hands that the reason they shook hands in ancient days is because people typically held a concealed blade in their left hand. By the way, I know, so did DALL-E 3 come out? Is that the new AI revolution? I did see a viral post that was like, here's what DALL-E is capable of. I told DALL-E 3 to make me, like, comics, like newspaper-style comics with these props. It got me laughing so hard. Because one of the ones that was taken as, like, an example of the power of AI was like, this is a programmer on vacation. And it was just, the dude was on the beach. And then he made a sandcastle computer. And this was like, check out how insane the tech is. And in a way, I will say, this guy's cooked, man. I will say, it is impressive. I can acknowledge how impressive it is. That AI can make a bad newspaper comic. Like, some people were like, this is funny. And I think that's insane, but humor's different for everybody. But I thought it was, on a technical level, it's very impressive that it could make a very shitty newspaper comic. And then on a human being level, I was like, who cares? I'm really trying hard to have, and I have to remind myself, as fucked up as it is, I have some responsibility with what I say because of the fact that for like 1,000 people on Earth, I'm the most famous person. Not that many people know me, but there's like a small auditorium full of people worldwide for whom anything I say is gospel, which is crazy. So I'm trying to have what I would describe as a balanced opinion on AI. I don't want you to be parroting my ignorant statements about AI out there and then getting shellacked in the marketplace of ideas. There's two things that bother me about AI, three things. One is the promises of how much it's going to change our lives before it's changed our lives, and thus the insinuation that if you don't see where things are going, you must be stupid. Like, we don't have to show you how good it'll be. You should just use your imagination. That annoys me. Secondly, seeming obsession with using AI to supersede human-created art. And this is just for me. I don't want to see a cool picture made by a robot. Because I don't think you could just look at like a painting or a poem or something like that and be like, wow, that's so much better than a poem that I could write or a picture I could make. Part of what gives art meaning is the fact that another human being like me created it. If a robot is just mimicking that and doing its best job, there's nothing, the poem doesn't exist except to be created, which is interesting in its own right, but it doesn't stir the human spirit. The third one is that the people that I see that are most evangelical about AI seem to be running in the same circles as the people who were extremely evangelical 3 years ago about crypto completely changing the world, which has not happened yet. And as a result, I suss you a little bit, because we've been down this road before. Now, AI seems like it could be the real deal, but again, we're circling back to point number one. I need you to show me first this time, okay? My ass is not going to be like, oh, my CIBC checking account is going to be running on the Ethereum blockchain in 2024. You got to show me, man. I know I've said this exact same thing before, but I feel like I'm becoming Brad Pitt in The Big Short. Like, I'm so close to putting my house inside a Faraday cage. I understand the irony as somebody who makes his living on Twitch. But I'm at the point now, when we were at Science World, I was losing my mind because I took my kid to use the potty, and the whole bathroom is... They've gotten rid of all mechanical pumps in the bathroom, okay? The faucet is motion sensor. The soap dispenser's motion sensor. It's got the Dyson one where you just put your hands in like you're about to touch a plutonium rod. And then I do appreciate this, it also had a hand-wavy paper towel dispenser because those Dyson fuckers don't work. So me trying to wash my hands, I go to the sink. You got to go like this 20 times so the sink actually figures out that your hands are there. Then you start washing it, and it only gives you 1 second of water. You're supposed to wash your hands for 20 seconds, but it only gives you 1 second of water. So every 3 seconds, you're going like this again. Then I'm going to the soap dispenser, and I'm getting soap in my left hand, and I'm putting it on my hands. Then while I'm washing my hands, the motion sensor soap is too sensitive, so it's dripping soap onto my damn sleeve. Now I got my sleeve up to the motion sensor faucet going, trying to figure out how to get, and every time I do it, I'm getting soap on my elbow. We've gone too far. I know I seem like I'm passionate about one thing, and it's like public bathroom design. We need to go back to like the 1990s public bathroom setup. A mechanical pump on the soap dispenser, a standard faucet. It doesn't have to be 2 knobs. It could be a lever or something like that. The pump on the paper towel where you go ka-chunk and an appropriate amount of paper towel comes out. We don't need the electricity for this. We don't need the batteries. We don't need the sensors. We don't need the Wi-Fi chips, okay? We just need a button you can press. We need to go back. And we need urinals with dividers between them, if not the bathroom entirely becoming a stall. We at least need the divider. Please, we deserve nice things. People are working hard out here. Not me, but people. I was flicking through channels, found you, and I gotta admit I've been nodding enthusiastically at every take. Oh, I've got my finger on the pulse of the everyman. Why did I say that with an Amish paradise cadence? Saying prayers for the afterlife. I'm not an AI doubter. I'm just you gotta show me first. I'm not gonna give you the keys to the kingdom until I at least see that you got a keychain, you know? Check it out though, it made one picture where like the roofs make a spiral. Yeah, and that one looked pretty good. But then like the rest of them they made in that style looked like utter dog shit. I mean, a broken watch is right twice a day is all I'm trying to say. A hearty huzzah to you. Shut it. But also, people aren't ready for this take either. I also feel the same way about like AI evangelicals that I feel about people who say you're naive if you don't think there's other intelligent life in the galaxy. Listen, in the universe. I'm not anti-science and I'm not anti-alien. I'm the only motherfucker who still thinks that those Mexican aliens are real, okay? I'm willing to die on that hill. I just get annoyed when people say like that you would be stupid to think that there aren't aliens. I'm not saying there are and there aren't aliens. All I'm saying is you could believe that there are, you could believe that there aren't. Neither take makes you stupid. Because we don't have any evidence either way. I get that the universe is big as hell. It's like it's bigger than the biggest thing I could possibly imagine. But we haven't seen evidence of aliens yet. You don't have to be naive to not believe there's aliens out there. The evidence is us. Come on, Ridley Scott. Come on. It's narcissism if you think it's just us? No, it's not, because I'm not saying it is just us. But I mean, I gotta see the aliens to know that the aliens exist. Or at least see like evidence of them. See like an alien TV show or something. And I'm not a narcissist, I'm just a guy. This is why is it always an ad hominem attack? If you don't believe that there's aliens out there, even though we haven't seen evidence of them, you gotta be either stupid or have like a DSM-5 personality disorder diagnosis or something like that. That ain't how science works. You ever hear a scientist talk? People who I freaking love science talk like that. Actual scientists are like, well, according to the p-values of the beta radiation given off by the differential, the delta between the expected value and the actual value is insinuating the effect. And then it's the reporters who are like, aliens fucking exist, bro. If someone said, do you believe that aliens exist in the universe? I would say, I don't know. Because I don't know, because nobody knows. But if you ever say, I don't know, people are like, don't you know how big the universe is? It's crazy to believe, yeah, it's a 1 in a billion chance for, like, intelligent life to exist on any planet, but there's like 1 trillion planets, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't know, man. Sometimes you flip a coin 8 times and it comes out fucking tails every time. It happens. When we see the aliens, I'll be like, whoa, aliens. I'd have to be a narcissist to believe that those aliens aren't real. Who's the hottest male celebrity in your opinion? Definitely something in my area of expertise. I mean, I can't, I honestly, I know this sounds like something that you would say if you didn't want to own up to the fact that the dudes who own MF Bar are gay. You have to go earlier into the stream, it's a callback. I don't feel like I can give you a good answer because I'm not attracted to men. Like, I can tell when a man is handsome. But like now, if you were to ask me like who's the hottest guy in Hollywood, I honestly don't know. If I were to say what's my kind of lad, I couldn't tell you. But what if I said something in the vein of a Stanley Tucci or a Jeffrey Wright? I'm not just saying Stanley Tucci because he's bald, though the baldness serves him very well. Jeffrey Wright, for real? He's got a look to him. He's bald too. So what? If you pick 2 celebrities with hair, I'm not going to be like, oh, not even a single baldy amongst them. You pick 2 bald guys, everybody's like, oh, he's got a fetish. A little follicularly normative of you, wouldn't you say? Favorite female celebrity? I don't know. I think it's like the most... Chipley, are you here? Is there a more middle-aged perverted energy than like being a man who's like, I think the hottest female celebrity is this person? I would much rather weigh in on who I think the hottest male celebrity is than be like, oh, I fucking love Judy Greer or something. It's the energy of like a man who jerks off to Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition. Guy who's like insanely excited for the Victoria's Secret fashion show on TV tonight. Are your parents living with you right now? Yeah, they can probably hear me through the walls. But it's okay. This morning I said, take a hike, Mom. I've got to work. I literally texted her. I said, here's some good hiking spots. I don't know if they went out, though. They might have just stayed in. They're probably still a little jet lagged. Oh, man. I got one more in me. But this one should really be the last one. Ooh, good sleep. There is no all the way anymore. It's right there. I got one more in me. I'm out of stamina. Oh, I got one more in me. Just make it cheaper, okay? The people have had enough of it. God is my witness. I'm just being real with you. I forgot what every single button on my controller did at the same time. In my head, I said, what's dodge? What's block? What's attack? I had no, had no idea what I was gonna do. Look how one more of me. I did. I got factory reset like Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 3. That happens to me on the highway sometimes. Dude, I think about that all the time. Like right now, I can tell you, if you want to signal right, you push the stock up. If you want to signal left, you pull the stock down. But catch my ass, like, signaling properly. But if you asked me how to make the signal, I could not tell you. Like, at least 20% of the time. You got it the other way around? I got one more in here. I don't have it the other. No, that's a right. That's a left. You guys, you failed your driving test. Why am I letting Gen Z internet anonymous chat tell me how to drive my car? You don't even think it should exist. If I wanted advice from you on how to lock my bicycle so that it doesn't get stolen, I would come to you for advice. I'm sure you're authoritative sources. My ass ain't good with the damn U-lock, okay? Oh. Boss is like, no, he's kind of nice with it. Okay, one more. That's it, though. One more. In this household, we earn the Estes. I mean, we gotta do one more. That's just ridiculous. Check gear. I always think back to that famous Magresta tweet that only I saw, because it was about me. It said streamers will really get like the boss down to one hit and then die in a Souls game, and 100 people in chat say you should change your weapon. This guy, he's beatable. Sometimes you just gotta get better, man. I'm not saying that like mixing it up with a plan wouldn't hurt, but it wouldn't help, I guess. But sometimes you just gotta lean into the uncomfortable feeling that like, I'm just not doing good enough. It's not like, oh, this boss is scissors and you've got paper equipment, bro. You gotta take your ass back to rock. This is the paper administration. Wait, hang on, we can do this? Take your ass back to scissors. We in the paper administration in this bitch. We going to rock. Librarian, can you hook me up here? We got one more in us. I'm mashing. I got one more in me. I'm mashing every button I got. I was hitting block and attack at the same time. I mean, I got one more. That wasn't even close. Run. The camera put out a fucking hit on me, bro. Whack. Okay, go again. I'm super dead. Okay, that should be it for now. Okay, slash marker, lies of P. Okay, we'll get him. We should be live tomorrow. Everything's tentative on me not getting, well, or my daughter for that matter. Everything's tentative on neither of us getting whatever affliction is currently plaguing my wife, okay? So for right now, everything's good, but things can change. I am going to Twitch, because I am not raiding the normal individual. Yo, Jay's playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive 2! Enjoy some Counter-Strike 2 at Jay's stream. and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. If it's any consolation, if I don't see you tomorrow, I promise you, I'm having way less fun than if I would see you tomorrow. So, see ya! Have you seen Slackers? I don't think I can imagine any other streamer who might have seen it. Have I seen Slackers? What a ridiculous question. I love you, but I hate you, which brings to mind how much I love you. We could have worked things out, you know, in my little room, in my little locked room. I'm sorry that you had to settle for Dave, the one-dimensional man. He's filed under cocksucker in my little black book. Sweetness can rot your teeth, bittersweet cacophony, and you hold the key, you hold the... You think I don't know every word from Slackers? Devin Sawa, Jason Schwartzman. Kind of insane this information occupies space in your brain. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that sometimes when I hear a song, usually like during a Peloton ride, I'll hear a song that I've literally not heard since like 1998, and I still know 80% of the words. I'm like, what are you doing in there?